The First Wars. Long before kings wore crowns or borders were drawn, conflict carved the first lines of power. The earliest recorded war, Lagash versus Umma, around 2700 BCE, two Sumerian city-states in what is now Iraq. The cause: land, canals, and control over the lifeblood of Mesopotamia, water. But this wasn't simple violence. These battles were fought by organized militias, led by rulers who declared their legitimacy through conquest. They used bronze-tipped spears, chariots pulled by donkeys, and crude but revolutionary formations. With each clash, humans learned not only how to kill, but how to govern. War gave rise to the first treaties, professional soldiers, early forms of propaganda etched into stone. Out of bloodshed came order, and from destruction, civilization. The empire that never came back. In 9 AD, deep in the misty woods of Germania, 3 elite Roman legions were annihilated. Over 20,000 Roman soldiers, trained, disciplined, and armored, fell to an alliance of Germanic tribes led by Arminius, a man once trained by Rome itself. This was not just a defeat, it was a rupture. Rome's strategy, which relied on tight formations and roads for logistics, collapsed in the unforgiving terrain. Ambush tactics, mobility, and local knowledge outmatched imperial might. After Teutoburg, the Roman Empire drew a line it never crossed again. Had Rome subdued Germania, Western Europe might speak Latin today from the Rhine to the Elbe. But history took a different path. Sometimes the end of expansion isn't marked by a treaty, but by silence. After Rome's legions fell silent, a new age of warfare dawned, one of knights, castles, and holy wars. In the early Middle Ages, power fractured into fiefdoms and kingdoms. Armies were smaller, loyalty often bought in land, and the sword became both weapon and symbol. But war never ceased. It simply changed shape. By the 8th century, the Islamic caliphates swept across North Africa and into Spain, clashing with Christian Europe in battles like Tours, 732 AD. In the 11th century, the Crusades ignited, a brutal collision of religion and empire that saw knights, kings, and commoners march thousands of miles to claim holy ground. Then came a force like no other, the Mongol Empire, 13th century. Led by Genghis Khan, they built the largest contiguous land empire in history. They rode fast, struck faster, and rewrote the rules of war. With composite bows, feigned retreats, and ruthless discipline, Mongol horsemen annihilated cities from China to Hungary. Baghdad, the jewel of the Islamic world, fell in 1258, its libraries burned, its rivers blackened with ink and blood. Trade, communication, and terror flowed across the Silk Road under the Mongol banner. Centuries later, warfare evolved again, not just through blood, but thought. Napoleon Bonaparte, in the early 1800s, turned the battlefield into a science. He reorganized armies into corps, mastered supply chains, and used mass conscription to mobilize an entire nation. At Austerlitz, 1805, strategy outshone size. At Borodino, sheer will clashed with Russian frost. Napoleon's wars redrew Europe, but more importantly, they reshaped how wars were fought. From cavalry charges to mass mobilization, from chivalry to cannon fire. The road to total war was being paved.